If we have been set free by Christ from slavery to the law, it does not mean that we can now break all the laws and become slaves of sins. If Jesus has set us free, our whole life is dependent on Jesus. We need to exercise, therefore, the freedom that the Lord has given to us. We are freed from the laws, but we are slaves now, in a certain sense, of truth, of justice, and of love. We are called to live the life of Christ, to put on a new creation. We have no right to sin. Of course, being slave of Jesus is in truth our real freedom. Because true freedom is when we live a life of love, of truth. To live a life of sin is to accept false freedom in our life. Because sin enslaves us. When we are ruled by our passion, by our anger, by our hatred, by our selfishness, by our greed, by our addiction, we are not free. The world today claims that without God they are free. They are not free. They are slaves to their passions and their selfish desires. A truly free man, a free person, is one who has the capacity always to live in truth and in authentic love for his brothers and sisters. That is why the freedom given to us requires us how we want to use that freedom for good or for evil. And that is the reason why the only way for us to avoid falling into sin is when we live by grace, so that sin will no longer dominate your life. The only way to overcome sin is not so much always to think about sin. There are some people, they are over-scrupulous. They are always thinking about, I have sinned, I have committed this sin, and that sin. Their whole life is always about sin. It's just like there are some people, they like to curse the darkness. Why is the place so dark? Why is everybody like that? Why is the world going that direction? We don't curse darkness. We just have to live in the light. We do good with love authentically. That is the way to overcome sin. When you turn away from evil, you turn to God. When you turn to God, you turn away from evil. That is life. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, this exercise of freedom, of course, does not mean to say every time we can choose the grace of God. We will fail. But this is where the church says, then you come back for confession, receive the Eucharist, spend time in prayer to receive the strength. Sanctification is an ongoing process. We are not yet perfected. We are still in the making. And so we need to be patient with ourselves. But we are certain that if we try and we fail, then God is ever ready, waiting to forgive us, waiting to heal us, waiting to set us free again. So we do not have to worry. The question is sincerity, or whether we want to live an authentic life or not. We'll be judged by our intentions, not so much by our actions or even by our weaknesses. The Lord knows we are weak. That's why He gives us the grace, and we are making use of the graces. The more freedom you have, you need to exercise it in such a way that you are accountable to what has been given to you. It is abuse of freedom, abuse of power, abuse of talents that we will have to face God eventually when the Son of Man, as the Lord said, will come at a time when we least expect. It's very important, my dear brothers and sisters, we need to live in such a way that we are ready at any time to return to the Lord. The time is not certain. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, let us exercise the freedom that the Lord has given to us in a responsible manner.